So let's talk about it, man, because this is like
Yeah.
the future of a
Yeah,
lot of stuff we're
the
talking about.
future of medicine really will be regenerative, right?
Right.
Obviously, as you mentioned, stem cells essentially became legalized in Florida as of July 1st, right? Which is pretty incredible. I think, I would rather have an openness around the conversation because what you don't want is have people just fly to Mexico. You want people who are going to a safe place. And so when you have it where it's more popular, you can do things like do a stem cell therapy in the US. It's just a bit of a higher quality of standard, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Why are people going to Mexico, the Cayman Islands, and all of these other countries to go get these stem
Right.
cell procedures?
So if we kind of take a look at the whole of what's happening in the stem cell space, like what I'm very a big fan of is mesenchymal stem cells. I primarily focus on mesenchymal stem cells and what I call autologous, your own DNA. Your own DNA, in my opinion, has all the blueprint and instructions to help heal your body. That's actually how we survive. When if you're a young child and you have an injury, notice how young kids actually bounce back faster, right?
Right.
If a young kid hits its head or his or her head, the recovery is much better than a 90-year-old, grandma, grandpa, because of the elasticity and also the healing capacity of the brain and the tissue. And one aspect is it's stem cells, right? That we age or we have stem cell exhaustion, right? So in the terms of like where stem cell research is now, you can actually clone your stem cells legally in the US, right? Under these IRB approved studies, and then administer it to you. So, for example, when someone says I'm doing stem cell therapy, that actually doesn't really mean a whole lot. Well, what kind of stem cells?
Right.
Okay, but when you do autologous, your own DNA, you can get cell quantities in the hundreds of millions. When someone's doing a stem cell dose and it's 20 million, 40 million stem cells, that's not really, in my opinion, a high dose. Therapeutic high doses are 200 million and above. So, in the ideal world, which is kind of basically, we're about here now, we can clone stem cells in the 200 million range. They're small, they're not sticky. The genetic capacity of it is your own DNA. Quality of the stem cell throughout the cloning process has high integrity. That's where we're at.